Hey guys, Tyler here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We're on Arnhem checkpoint, playing for today, spawning in the south. We have Fortune as the OKW, and his loadout is Firestorm, Scavenge, and Special Operations. Facing off against him in the north, we have RoyalHants as the Brits, who has Mobile Assault, Special Weapons, and Royal Engineers. Fortune, I think around rank 13 as OKW, 1v1s, and RoyalHants top 5 as the Brits. So we should be in for a cracking game. Interesting that both these players don't have this map vetoed. Typically try to veto this map with factions that don't have flamethrowers, but of course Fortune does have access to Firestorm, which can rectify that situation. But even then, personally, when I play OKW, I veto maps like this, so I'm not forced to lock into Firestorm, so I keep my command options more open. See RoyalHants going for 3 sections early on. Vickers can be quite strong in this map though. There are a lot of garrisons in the middle here that are very strong to put a machine gun inside, especially once the Vickers gets its Vet 1 range bonus. It can be very strong on this map. Well, that push failed quite badly with Stupone. He's tried to hide around here, around the cutoff, behind the trees, but RoyalHants was having none of it. Well diffused by him. Just, you know, coming, instead of just coming straight across here, came like across here, down this way. Bring another squad in from the side, diffused that early pressure onto his cutoff very easily. In fact, one strategy I've been using nowadays is OKW. I was never really a big fan of like rushing Stern Pioneers to something like this, unless it was like super advantageous. But these days I've been like capping up the map with them, you know, pretty much maybe connecting my fuel, munitions, just the most vital points. And then once I've got like 2 or 3 Volks making a big push all at once, trying to get like a 3-on-1 against one of their squads, just holding their cutoff instead of going aggressive with the Stern Pioneers straight away, and it seems to be working out quite well.
Infantry section is ready for battle.
Big scraps going on here. Wow, he's gone for another section, and he's actually gone for a very early 5-man as well. 5-man is very popular with the Brit players these days, getting an early 5-man upgrade instead of going for an AEC or similar. And 5-man Tommies are very hard. Tommy's pretty even against Fox Grenadiers, but once you get the 5-man upgrade, they outgun them quite easily. You really need the STG upgrade to fight them after that. And then once they get the Brents, you just stand very little chance without Obers. And even Obers have trouble against vet up double Brent 5-man Tommies. Oh man, that model drops so lucky. Only loses 1 model, despite that squad being on half health. But Fortune's done it. He's fought them off his, well, I suppose it says munitions cutoff, all the way to the proper cutoff. The tried to put up some sandbags, got diffused by the Vickers there. But still, cutoff has been completed. Well played by Fortune. Has gone for the early spec ops, which will give him the infiltration grenades at 3 CPs, which are very strong on this map. Very good at dealing with garrisons, though with the changes to the amount of damage grenades do to buildings, they won't flatten the buildings quite as quickly, especially with these stone buildings on Arnhem checkpoint. Fortune has gone for the mid HQ. Rather, seems like he's late with his tech, but maybe not. So he's going to push back out. To demonstrate the strength of the base houses against buildings in my videos. But it looks like RoyalHants is going to go at least 3 men with the med upgrade instead of trying to build a forward assembly with the medics. A lot of fighting going on here. Looks like this squad's going to come around for a flank, get into that church. That's going to be big trouble. Fortunately, no, he doesn't even bother getting in the building. I mean, he's missed his moment. Fortune's managed to close across that road there and get in the church, denying it to the squad. I think that was a missed opportunity by RoyalHants. And RoyalHants actually in a pretty tough situation here. He doesn't have much map control. He's gone for a tank hunter section. Fortune's gone for the flak half track, but you can see his flak half track is quite late. Well, I suppose it's not that late, but considering the build time, but certainly not 100% on time. And that's one thing that I've been trying to focus on when playing OKW, is making sure my flak half track is like coming out as soon as humanly possible. But yeah, RoyalHants has got a lot of territory to try and recapture. He is in the North Spawn, which is definitely worse on this map. His cutoff is just so much harder to defend. So I think that's giving him a little bit of a disadvantage so far in this game. And here comes the flak half track. Flak half track very strong against Brits because remember they don't have anti-tank grenades on these sections. So you can be very aggressive with it. You can drive it like right up to their squads without having to worry about it getting snared and then killed as a result. Well, except against the tank hunter section of course, but that is the exception. And it looks like the squad's bugging out, not being able to get into the building. Unfortunately, that garrison bug has re-entered the game with this patch. Generally you just have to issue the command to get in the building again and it'll work, but it is quite frustrating when it happens. Flak half track is quite ineffective against squad and buildings, I feel. Let's get to the building now. It's got the medics on that as well. So you definitely know base howitzers from RoyalHants.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Also, of course, no flamethrowers. Hasn't gone for mobile assault.
Supply is looking a bit squiffy. Line's been cut.
Ooh, yeah, flak half track getting a few friendly fire shots there, connecting with the shot blocker. So flak half track does not outrange that tank hunter section's boys AT rifle.
Enemy threatening a capture
He's
point.
taking quite a lot of damage, and here comes the 6-pounder wheeling its way in. Fortune retreats in the nick of time. Looks like he's around half health, so probably would have died to one of those anti-tank gun shots had they connected. Looks like one squad of Tommies came out here, managed to get a bit of Fortune's territory in return, but overall I'd say Fortune has had his fuel connected for a lot longer so far. And personally, I think it's
Units can now use Piat launchers.
a bit of a mistake not going for the
A
AC
supply carrier and weapon sections are available.
against the flak half track. Still need to do a bit more testing on that, but that's just what I feel. Fortune does have the Rakitten, because you know if you go for the flak half track and you don't have a Rakitten nearby to protect it, it's probably gonna die against your enemy's light vehicle.
Causing trouble, trying
So-
to take one of our points.
It's quite important. Oh my god, look at that. Squad getting blasted by a flak half track. 6 pounder rotates, gonna get one shot off. Uh-oh. Ooh. Oh, too late. Way too late on the reactions from Fortune there. Just sloppy flak half track control. Really requires some babysitting this thing. You can't like not pay attention to it for 2 anti-tank gun shots at any point in the game. But it's really effective if you do that. Right into the late game, it's like a moving super machine gun. It's like he's found the Schwer going up, but don't think he'll be able to cancel it. But it's a little bit of damage on it, and that could pay dividends later with the concentrated fire operation if it doesn't get repaired. With that little bit of damage on it, this thing actually stands a pretty good chance of knocking it out. And this is where Fortune could struggle, because as you see here, there are a bucket load of squads for RoyalHants. It's got 5 Tommies, 2 machine guns to Fortune's 4 Volkswagens, 1 Stern Pioneer. Huge long range advantage for RoyalHants. There, he's making a slight mistake with his section, using right click to capture this point instead of like attack moving to capture. Whenever you're moving an LMG squad like that, you want to be using attack move to capture points so they stop and fire at max range as soon as they run into enemy squad. You don't want them closing in on a squad like a Stern Pioneer, being forced to retreat like they did right there. So slight mistake there by RoyalHants on his LMG squad micro. Though I can't blame him, I sometimes do that if I'm a bit pressed, if I'm feeling a bit strained. This is a cheeky maneuver. Camo Rakitten capping the middle, right under the nose of RoyalHants. But he's making the most of it. You know, a lot of players would just leave the Rakitten sitting away somewhere, but he's trying to use it to cap, because it's got nothing to fire at right now, instead of just sitting around occupying his supply doing nothing. But looks like he's once again not paying close enough attention to a unit, could lose it. And he does! And what was he even focusing on there? I don't even know. I don't even know what he was doing there. It just doesn't make sense. He retreated 1 squad from the left, but then his reaction should have been a lot more rapid following that. And now he's in a bad spot, because his opponent now has 2 anti-tank guns, which is going to tax his supply a little bit and his manpower accordingly. But as soon as Fortune gets a vehicle, it's going to be in big trouble. Now RoyalHants may actually have a little bit of trouble with his army size now. But he's still got to get probably 2 engineers and a tank. So by the time he gets that, population's going to be creeping up quite high. But I think he goes with this strategy with so many sections, expecting to lose one at some stage. So perhaps that's the idea behind going for so many sections. And the double bread sections is so strong.
They're trying to take it.
Oh wow, infiltration grenades do 0 damage to those buildings now. That's interesting. been such a long time. I mean, I don't think I've used them since the patch came through, but I didn't realise they changed them to do 0 damage to buildings. I don't even recall reading that change at all, honestly. ISG for fortune, but oh, gets a decent hit there. As you may know, ISG has been a little bit underwhelming this patch. Did receive quite a few cost reductions, but yeah. Oh man! Oh my god, he was about to run right into that gammon bomb. The squad tries to come in with the Piets. I mean, the Piets don't have the super range they used to. Used to have what, like, yeah, used to be able to outrange Sure HQ, not anymore. Range is much more similar to the bazooka now. But interesting to see him put a Piet on his section when there's no vehicles on the field and he's got 2 anti-tank guns. But I mean, who am I to criticise his build? This man is obviously very highly ranked as the Brits. There must be some method to his ways that I'm not understanding right now. He's also got, you know, he's got the boys AT rifle with the grenade as well, so it's not like he's lacking infantry anti-tank either. Looks like he might be going, yeah, straight for hammer. It's like he should have a tank out by now. No, he's gone straight for hammer. He's probably going to go straight for the comet. Oh, this could be a wipe here. No. It depended on how their retreat was going to be. If they retreated like across this way straight away and then up.
A capture point is being overrun.
And I think he would have wiped it, maybe being able to steal it there, but Vickers does get away. Another mine for in the middle going off on infantry. SG is chipping away there. Doesn't have that many model kills, but has hit V1 now.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Not chasing here. Interesting. I'll probably chase to around here. Try to get a couple more model kills. Because, you know, like you might consider not chasing, but you haven't seen any engineers, so you don't have to worry about mines at this stage. So that's something you have to factor in. You know, if you haven't seen any engineers plant mines, be more aggressive with your vehicles, chasing down squads. Especially against the Brits, so you don't have to worry about maybe a squad like ooh-ahing in behind you and throwing anti-tanks near. Most of these Tommies do not have anti-tank grenades, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
But I think RoyalHants is going to be very close to a comet now. Now he builds his engineers. So it looks like, you know, instead of trying to get a squad of engineers earlier, trying to get a few mines down, he instead goes for his engineers late, so they're not, you know, taxing his population supply. So he's got maximum amount of manpower coming in and spending all his munitions on weapon upgrades rather than trying to get mines. which is it's an interesting way to go about it. Don't think I've seen minesweepers from Fortune yet. Might pick them up now that some engineers are hitting the field. That is going to be the Comet for RoyalHants. It's pretty much the nightmare situation for the Panzer IV fighting a Comet. Though Panzer IV, you know, did receive at least a 10 penetration bonus at medium and long ranges patch, so just make it just slightly better of a matchup, but still very hard for the Panzer IV to win. Oh, that's maybe how he could win. Looks like the sandbag got destroyed, and then P4 shot and ISG shell land both at once, wiping the squad. Unfortunate for Hans, but you know, that's the kind of redundancy he built into this build order by going for so many sections. Doesn't really matter if you lose one like that, especially as he comes into this phase of the game where he kind of needs to get more engineers.
Heavy machine gun group are ready for action.
Let's check if these do damage. No. So it looks to me like they changed infiltration grenades damage type to be small explosion, which is like what the shock troops grenade used to be before this patch. Shock troop grenade used to do 0 damage to buildings. They changed it this patch to do damage to buildings again, but it looks like at the same time they stopped infiltration grenades from doing damage to buildings. Interesting, actually. It makes me think, is there even less reason for using one of those infiltration grenade commanders now? Because building denial was a big factor in using infiltration grenades. And once again, another reason to try and avoid playing on a map like this and using OKW. Uh-oh, this could be the end of the Panzer IV. It's getting blocked by the retreating Raketen. Pushing forwards is the Comet, and down it goes. Well, it's about being unlucky, but I don't think it's really unlucky. I don't think he should have pushed back in with his Panzer IV there to try and soak the damage from the Raketen. I think that was too risky of a maneuver. Oh, Gammon Bomb gets the squad. And Fortune, all of a sudden, he's in a deep, deep hole. 33 supply to 78. He is in a bit of a pickle. Probably needs to go for a Panther right now. So you're trying to wait for the Command Panther. The regular Panther is quite a lot cheaper, you know. You could build it immediately. But it looks to me now like he's saving for Command Panther. He's got to do something with this manpower. He's got a lot of manpower here. He definitely needs another Raketen, that's no question. So he might as well make that. Probably should have made some overs as well. And then he should start saving his manpower after that for the Command Panther. Meanwhile, RoyalHants probably going to make his way towards another Comet. Oh, he doesn't actually have the supply for it. Interesting. Did get a sniper around the time when he lost his that section. So I feel like getting the sniper is perhaps not the best idea here. occupying a bit of supply, you know, denying him from getting that second comet. And remember, Royal Engineers did receive quite a lot of nerfs to their repair speed. So using just one engineering squad to try and keep a tank healthy can be a bit of a problem sometimes. Okay, Fortune does indeed call in the Command Panther. He's also building himself some obers. Another Gammon Bomb. Very Gammon Bomb happy is RoyalHants. Gammon Bomb is what you get from the hammer upgrade, part of the tech bonuses there. Basically like a satchel charge, but actually slightly better than a satchel charge these days because it does a temporary engine crit if a tank gets damaged by it, whereas you have to use a sticky satchel for that for Soviets. But yeah, it's only a temporary crit, it's not a permanent crit like the sticky satchel, so there's advantages and disadvantages. Okay, anti-tank gun moving up. Panther in the firing line now. Panther's been getting some pretty good luck with the penetrations on the Comet though. STG upgrade on the obers. So I've got those searchlight scopes, so you can see them kind of shining now. I don't think I've even noticed them shining like that before. That's interesting. But yes, the IR searchlight, or the IR scopes do the remove part of the received accuracy bonus from cover. So it can be quite useful on a map with a lot of cover options where the fighting's likely to be closer range like this. Actually, he's just charging straight up the middle. Get engine damage on the Comet. Gotta be careful he doesn't get wiped here. Luckily the sniper missed that shot. Incendiary grenade. Probably gonna win that engagement. No, another Gammon Bomb. It looks like they stayed in the incendiary grenade for a bit too long and they ended up having to retreat. If he threw the Gammon Bomb and then moved, I think he would have won that engagement. But he's got another squad on hand to win it, and Fortune's going to be suffering the triple cap. His army size is building back up. Wasn't that long ago there was like almost 50 supplied behind, now it's more like 15. So what I was talking about, Huts doesn't have the supply space required. Oh, but he's going to go for the Crocodile anyway. It's going to deny him from reinforcing a few of his squads. Crocodile did receive quite a few nerfs. The Panther, typically not the best counter to the Crocodile. Its rate of fire is a little bit too slow to dish it out to the Crocodile. But yeah, I think the Crocodile got a health reduction, right? It's gone to 1280 from 1400. So it should make it a little bit easier for the Panther to kill it, but yeah, Panther's rate of fire is just a little bit too slow to kill the Crocodile. That's what you typically need a Jagdpanzer 4 for. And that may be what we see from Fortune next. He's only 10 fuel away, but he's quite a lot more manpower for JP4. The squad wanted to come forward for the Faust, but they're taking too much damage. And typically, using the the coordinated fire ability on the Panther is often not worth it against many different tanks, but against a high health tank like Crocodile, I do recommend it. Because you'll be getting so many shots off on the Crocodile. 25% bonus damage will actually matter in terms of shots to kill. Whereas, you know, often using its medium tank or similar, shots to kill is identical. So it's not worth using unless you're also firing like a bazooka or something at, or you know, just Panzerschreck, something like that as well. Not just a tank, not just one tank shooting at it.
We're losing a capture point.
Fortune hanging in there, but Hans is really keeping the pressure on those VPs. Luckily, Fortune had that strong start, which also gave him quite a large VP lead, but he's really having to lean on that now. It's really on the back of losing his Panzer IV and his Raketen all at once. Very costly mistake. Oh, and he loses overs now to the Churchill Crocodile. He is in big trouble.
Enemies trying to take a point from us.
Looks like he is going to try save his manpower up for something now. Some kind of vehicle. Oh, nice attack ground there. Not sure if they got the resources from that, or if the Crocodile end up killing it. Making this kind of charge across negative cover is how you lose manpower, how you lose squads, like he lost his Obus. As long as he's got control of one VP, he just needs to hang in there for a little bit longer, wait for his next vehicle to arrive before making a push. And it looks like he might be going for another Panther, because he hasn't started the Jagdpanzer IV or the Panzer IV. What? Oh my god, RoyalHants just lost a squad over here. Looks like it was another section. And over a mine, got hit by some flak shots at the same time, and there goes the squad. But it kind of just shows how poorly he's playing. Just continuously running into this flak HQ this game. But you know, a lot of people said it's just too risky to try to put your Schwer anywhere on the field. Worry about dying. And perhaps this is RoyalHants' big mistake. I mean, I'm quite a fan of, if you've got a setup like this, 2 anti-tank guns, 2 machine guns, try and set up your machine guns to protect your anti-tank guns to make a siege on the Schwer HQ. And if RoyalHants had done that, perhaps this game would already be over. He seems to be focused on just draining the VPs at this stage. So you're going for a killing blow to try and knock out the Schwer HQ.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
And you can see the side effects of only having one Royal Engineer to repair these 2 tanks. Repairs are very slow coming in for RoyalHants. Now he can reinforce all his squads, or all his squads and tanks and whatnot, but he can no longer afford another engineer squad for repairs.
Someone doesn't like us. We're losing a capture point.
He's side effect of getting that sniper. Oh, he's about to lose this kitten though. RoyalHants calling in the coordinated fire operation. So he's trying to prevent the kitten from being recruited. If I had to guess. It gets obliterated by it. Just gotta be careful it doesn't scatter into his own units which are nearby. Looks like he's going to lose another unit running into the Shred HQ. I don't know what's going on with RoyalHants, but he is not playing well right now. Ooh, Fortune's Panther takes quite a lot of damage from that artillery strike right there, but it looks like 6-pounder gets decrewed, was on less than half health, 3 men. Panther, oh, gets rear armor shotted by the Crocodile. Crocodile looks like it's going to go down. No! Critical shot on the Panther. Disables its turret. Nice work by the sniper, and it looks like the Crocodile might escape. No anti-tank guns for either man right now. Panther feeling bold. Finds the sniper, might even kill it here. If he gets lucky, he does. Machine gun does the job. And this is the Vet 2 Panther now. He's got those armored skirts. Don't know if it still gives 10% armor though. I don't. Maybe the Command Panther one does. I think the regular Panther one doesn't, right? Yes, the regular Panther one doesn't give the bonus armor anymore. But perhaps the Command Panther Vet 2 still gives the armor bonus. Anyway, Firefly 4 Hunts, so he's traded out all those anti-tank guns. And he's got himself a Firefly instead. I just think one general hole in Hunt's strategy is the lack of mine placement. He has finally got a second squad of engineers, so now I feel like he's got a bit of time to spare with his engineers to plant mines, but up until this point with only the one engineering squad, it's pretty much required for repairs the entire game. He's given no chance to plant mines, instead uses munitions to spam those gammon bombs with some success. But imagine if that Panther that got extremely low had run over a mine before. Could have been GG. It was running into like mine territory there, I feel. Territory I'm not sure Fortune has swept for quite a while. Pushing forward with his Panthers. And now he knows about the Firefly getting a walloping shot in there. Now switching tags to the other Command Panther. To the other Panther. This one being the Command Panther.
Ready for action.
So Panthers now need repairs, and this is where maybe Fortune himself needs more repair power. With 2 Panthers on the field, taking this much damage. Steam Pioneers also got their repair speed nerfs. But, you know, the supply is a little bit lower now as well. Just generally easier to fit 2 Steam Pioneers into your late game composition as OKW now with the changes. Oh no, he's actually got the repair station from his mechanized HQ, so that's a good way. At least this way he's not going to be occupying his army supply. Right, Phosphorus deployed there. It's heavy damage.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Crocodile back up to full, so is the Comet. This is a very tough position to be in as OKW because you've got these Raketans and they're short range, so the crocodile can roast them out so quickly because they have to be such close range to actually shoot at the crocodile. The crocodile only has to inch forwards a little bit, whereas against a normal anti-tank gun would have to drive another 10 range further forwards. Makes it much easier for the crocodile to wipe the Raketan. Hiding behind the church. Uh-oh, you don't want to be leading with your Firefly like that. Not the Comet. I wanted the Crocodile to be soaking the blows, not the Firefly. And it is indeed soaking up here. Oh, it looks like this is going to take engine damage here. It looks like he himself used smoke. Oh, squad down. But the smoke is actually preventing these two tanks from firing on the Panther. Now they fire up. Crocodile under quarter health, but Panthers don't want to chase any further. There are a few Piets about. Jason could be quite reckless.
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
Battlefield has come. The tanks are being repaired. VP's looking quite dire for fortune. He's just over 100 VPs to go.
A capture point is
He's
being
going
overrun.
for the Walking Stuka. Very risky going for the Walking Stuka against only one support weapon team now. RoyalHants has lost all the other
Squad knocked out.
weapon teams he had earlier. Oh, did the squad get flattened in their building? Oh, he lost his sniper somewhere. That's what happened. He rebuilt his sniper and he lost it again.
We're losing a capture point.
What's he using here? Vehicle detection. Forgot they even had it.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
Double Panthers doing a pretty good job of keeping RoyalHants' vehicles at bay.
They're trying to take it. Infantry ready to spot and attack nearby enemy vehicles.
Here comes Walking Stuka. And hits absolutely nothing. Well, a little bit of damage maybe to the Firefly, but not a good opening barrage. Barely got any veterancy there for Walking Stuka. Oh man, I didn't even see him throw that grenade. Nice positioning here on the machine gun team. It's going to make it hard for these squads to try to cap the middle.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Oh wow. Oh, excuse me, God. SWAT coming in from the rear. Perhaps he's hoping to poke in with his Panther, maybe get a snare off of one of these tanks to open an engagement. It's quite working out for him though. Crocodile's roasting them really badly as they retreat. So this Vet 5 squad could go down right here. Crocodile's not chasing though, and they don't quite get away. Good green fire there.
They have 100 points remaining.
Shoot that. Okay, in comes the trade fire operation over here somewhere. Uh-oh, don't lose your section. Okay, but he doesn't. Here come the Panthers. Some really good damage. He does use the coordinated fire on the Crocodile. And he's done a lot of damage to it, but now he's got to fight the Firefly and the Comet. I think personally I would not have used the coordinated fire on the Crocodile, and I would have saved it for the Comet. Because I think the chances of him killing the Crocodile in that situation are quite slim. But if he wants to continue the engagement, using the coordinated fire on the Comet afterwards could actually be quite effective.
Squad knocked out.
Sounds like RoyalHants has lost another squad of infantry section.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
So Fortune is just grinding his way back into this game. Supplies are now even. RoyalHants has quite a sizable float left, but it's just slowly been getting ground out, losing squads here and there, just largely due to inattentiveness, I think, more than anything else. But, you know, during that last period, he did drain Fortune about 50 VPs. Fortune can't afford for that to happen too many more times. It's going to take such a long time to repair, though. Either of these sections that, engineers have, like, Vet 2, so their repair speed is quite slow. I suppose it's similar for Fortune, though. He's also not Vet 2 with his Stern Pioneers, but he's got the bonus of the Mechanized Regiment.
Infantry squad trained and ready to go.
I suppose Hunts has got the benefit of the 5-man engineer. I keep wanting to call these guys sections, but obviously they're engineers. Jesus Christ.
The enemy are determined, and we are down to 300 points.
Roommate's up to no good. Fortune himself, though, he's down to just the one Volkswagen squad for the Faust. Can be quite tough. He's got MGs covering the VPs, though, and that's very important for these late game VP battles. That's actually one thing Hunt hasn't been very active in doing, is trying to harass this flank with the help of a vehicle. Perhaps he's worried about two Panthers trying to chase him down, and once again I think it's because he hasn't planted many mines. If he had, you know, a few more mines in this region, he'd probably feel safer making more bold plays with his vehicles over here, but his mine laying has been pretty much non-existent, and that's largely because he's just having to use his 2 engineers for repairs the entire game. There goes the Stuka. Doesn't really hit too much again. This is 3rd barrage, I think. 0 kills. Less than a quarter of a star of Verity. This is why going for the walking Stuka against somebody who doesn't use or isn't using many support weapons is very risky. So this especially at this high level, there's a very high chance that you're not going to hit shit.
Infantry ready to spot and attack nearby enemy vehicles.
Double kittens over here. We're looking for some kind of flank. Fortune has got a mine himself. He's going to drop in some base artillery on that machine gun over there. It's actually a pretty good idea. So he is, of course, hammer rather than anvil. So he's not going to get the airburst shells. By the time he moves forwards, the suppression is worn off. He's going to have to retreat. Well played there by Hunts. Uh-oh. Mom Panther in trouble. This is a situation where he needs to use...
We've lost a unit. A new infantry section is ready for battle.
Use the white phosphorus from his comet on a support weapon like this. Oh, there he goes. Did he lose this squad over here somehow? Maybe to infiltration grenades, if I had to guess. Ooh, that's a good barrage. That's the first good barrage he's had this game. Straight away with it, he gets 1.5 stars of veterancy. That's a good start, you know. First one gives you slight cooldown bonus, so getting to that first stage of veterancy definitely matters. And that's actually going to set back Hunts' repairs a long way, because he took a lot of casualties on both of his engineers. Unfortunately, he's getting very low on those VPs. Oh! Oh! The kittens went hunting and they found their mark. With the help of the artillery flares, Fortune picks off the Vet 3 Firefly. Now goes for the crocodile as well. And once again, just the side effect of Hunts having no mines. There's no warning system from there. Now this could actually be the chance for Fortune to make something happen here. No snares to worry about for his Panthers. Firefly down, other tanks on extremely low health. Could do so much damage here. I think he's playing it safe and not rushing in, but he could rush in and close the game out right here before the fresh Firefly hits. Looks like he's going to be content to just camp the VPs. Go for another Stuka barrage. Probably going to be lengthways across the face of the base.
HQ is under attack. Typical enemy trick, isn't it?
That was another nasty one. Picks up another 6 kills there, I think. Vet 2 now, so he's got both of the cooldown bonuses on it. He's going to be firing extremely quickly now. That's a magic number for the Walking Stuka Vet 2. Before that stage it can be a bit of a liability, but after that, even against non-support weapons, just the rate of fire on it just doesn't even matter. You can just pop off shots frequently enough. Goes for a third squad of engineers. I'll speed up his repairs.
The enemy cut our supply line.
But Fortune seems to be perhaps in the lead now slightly. He's got more veterancy on his tank supply. Very even between these two. Fortune has a lot of manpower floating. He's going to go for another Stern Pioneer squad. I think that's a good idea. No, he can fit into a supply. They used to cost 10. Now costing 8. A bit more affordable. But yeah, speed up his repairs, give him an option to plant more mines, especially with his newfound increased map control situation. Planting a lot of mines could win him this game in the next engagement if one of these tanks runs over them. Probably going to target those two squads if I had to guess. No? Uh-oh. Firefly running away with his tail facing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, we're still in range somehow. Now, roasting that squad off the point. You see these AT sections in there for some support. Where are they? Threatening the AT tank grenades. Oh, and here comes the squad. Could get the Faust off here on the Crocodile. We've got a Rocket in there in support as well. Crocodile looks like it's going to go down here. No, decides against the Faust to try and retreat that squad alive. Panther's also quite low in health. That Raken's getting some good hits in, and indeed he runs over one of those mines. Doesn't want to chase past those AT sections though to try and finish the job, but maybe once this Panther's back up to full he will make another push. Comes the walking Stuka. He's targeting the tanks with it. No, he's not. Oh!
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
He killed the two sections in the HQ. Now the Command Panther has no obstacles. He's just running straight forwards, using attack ground as well through the building. And that's game. Hunts packs it in. Oh my god. Well, Fortune had a strong start, but lost his track half track rather recklessly, and found himself in a deeply bad situation after losing his P4 and his Raketten, but played very well, very conservatively, ground his way back into this game. I think this is more of a story of Hunts. This is not helping Hunts. This is Hunts misplaying. With his support weapons, I really feel like he should have made a push to knock out the Schwer HQ. Probably could have sealed the game there, but also throughout the game just lacking repairs until the very end. Going for the 3rd Squad of Royal Engineers. And a lot of his squad losses were very avoidable as well. No mines. Kind of wasted a lot of munitions on concentrated fire operation for no real reason. So yeah, quite a few misplays there by RoyalHants, but well played by Fortune and good preservation on his tanks. But then that shows how hard it is to kill a mobile tank like the Panther without mines, without snares. And RoyalHants was really lacking on the snares front. Oh well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.